What's going on, you beautiful Hexicans in the sweet, sweet land of Hexico? How's everybody doing today? Crypto Coffee here with another stream. Good to see Bran. Good to see Johnny. Good to see Piston Broke. What's going on, man? Yeah, all the usual suspects. Today we're going to be talking about the Hex pump that's going on, and just all things Hex, and all things crypto psychographics. What does that word mean, guys? What does that word even mean? Why am I throwing out such a weird word? Guys, well, I've been thinking a lot lately, and it has to do with marketing, and it has to do with not only my personal marketing endeavors, but I think it overlaps a lot with crypto marketing endeavors as well. And it really comes down to, there's this misconception that I want to relay to everybody if I can, while I'm just starting out and people are trickling in. If you guys are still coming on in, feel free to. But the main idea is that demographics is something we focus on a lot. And in cryptocurrency and marketing in general, everybody always talks about, what are the ideal demographics? What's the ideal client profile that's getting into crypto? Hold on a second, guys. Let me just focus my camera a little bit. There we go. Yeah, what they always want to talk about demographics, what's your age? What's the ideal gender? We know cryptocurrency is a very male-dominated space. Women in the space seem to get a lot of attention for that reason too, which is a great opportunity for all women, just kind of evening out that ratio a little bit. But demographics are one thing. It's age, race, gender, marital status, stuff like your occupation, job. We've got a lot of wide varieties of demographics in crypto, but I think we don't focus enough on the psychographics. And so demographics kind of lock us into this idea of what we think a crypto person should be. Like what we think the ideal quality should be when we're marketing the crypto people. But by focusing on demographics, we actually cut off a lot of people that we're actually meaning or to market to. So when we're trying to pitch Hex or other things that we like to people, it's often lost because we're targeting like males only, for example. And for a long time, I was running ads to men only because I figured, men are the demographic in crypto. And then I kind of realized how stupid that was. I was like, well, no, not really. I mean, women, there's a ton of women in crypto, a ton of women in Hex, and they're all pretty awesome. A lot of people are interested in making money. I don't think that's a uniquely male trait, right? So it just, it tends to be, maybe if you had a room full of 100 people, maybe the majority of them might be more interested in making money than the men than the women, but it doesn't mean that none of the women care about money, right? It's very silly to have such a binary viewpoint. And that's just the men and women thing. You can also say, only young people get crypto. Well, turns out in Hex, there's a lot of people in older age brackets that tend to like Hex a lot more. Maybe that's because it's a longer term, play that actually makes sense because it's mimicking a real world asset. And maybe these older people have been around the block a few times too. So we make a lot of false assumptions based on, demographics, when what we really mean when we're marketing to crypto, or we're marketing crypto to people, is we want to get a grasp of their psychographics. What are psychographics? It's a person's, essentially, really simply put, frustrations and desires. So what is their psychological profile made up of? What do they want? What do they desire more than anything in the world? And what frustrates them? What pains them more than anything in the world? Because people want to get into cryptocurrency because they are, one, fulfilling their desires, or two, they are getting their way out of pain. They're crawling their way out of a painful situation. And it could be any of these, anything on the spectrum, right? And usually it's a mixture of both. Why did I get into cryptocurrency? I wanted to get out of the pain of the 9-to-5 grind, which everybody seems to be kind of born into. There seems to be nobody teaching you entrepreneurship or any kind of investing strategies where there's really a way out. So that's kind of the pain where I was coming from. After graduating college, I was like, wow, is this really it? Is this really what we do until we're 60, 70 years old? And then just, that's it. There's got to be more to life, So that was buying my way into pain, but there's also buying your way into pleasure too, or into your desires. So what did I desire? I desired probably a lot of the same things a lot of you desired. Sex, drugs, rock and roll. Obviously, everybody wants money because money is symbolic for freedom, right? Symbolic to freedom. And, I want to buy my way into freedom. Like Richard Hart always says, buy your freedom, and then you can truly you can truly act however you want to act and do whatever you want to do. And in the chance that you're not a psychopath, which is most people, I'd venture to guess most people will use their newfound financial freedom to try to benefit the world, right? So I think financial freedom is one of the greatest gifts you can actually give to anybody. O'Delly, what's going on? Huddle Dog, good to see you. Another great stream. Hex Squadron says, what is up, Coffee? How you doing, brother? Freedom TV says, freedom. That's right, bro. Freedom TV, good to see you all here. And D-Raj Moore, happy 420, dude. It's a bit past 420, on 420, unless you live in mountain time. So if you're in Utah or Montana, you got 8 minutes till 420 on 420. And what is going on, everybody? Kevin Conway says, elevator man, I want your pitch like a prayer. Your elevator pitch like a prayer. Yeah, I got to shorten down my elevator pitch a little bit for Hex, and it really depends on who you're talking to. And that goes back to the psychographics of the user, right? When you approach somebody, you have to understand what their psychological makeup is and what drives them. The same thing that drives one person might not be the same thing that drives another person. So that's a question that I really have for my audience today. As you guys come in, why did you get into crypto? Feel free to comment in the chat. I really, really do want to know, why did you get into crypto? Not when did you get into crypto, not how did you get into crypto, but why? What was going through your mind? What were some questions you were asking yourself? What are some things you were trying to achieve? What was bothering you about your life? What was humiliating you? What was frustrating you? What keeps you awake at night? Why did you get into crypto? What made you fearful, anxious? And also, what did you desire more than just, getting rich? Is there something behind that curtain of just wanting the mad gains? Because everybody wants to get rich, but there's always an underlying reason behind that. And another thing I really want to know from the people, Hex Squadron says financial freedom. This was honestly one of my mantras in my head as well. So financial freedom was a huge one for me, which is again what I think Hex can offer the world, given enough time, energy, and tender love and care. But yeah, why did you get into crypto? What was going through your head, and what put you off about crypto? So I guess that's mostly my important question, is what made you jump across the gap of being like, oh, what's going on over there in that crypto world, to like, all right, fuck it, I'm diving in, I'm putting $100 in, I'm putting $1,000 in, putting $10,000 in, let's see where this goes. How did you cross that gap of like the complexity? Because let's be honest, guys, crypto is intimidating for a lot of people. And to understand how to market, we need to understand the people we're marketing to. And to understand the people we're marketing to, we can kind of crowdsource and hive mind our information by talking about it together on stream. So I think that's pretty cool, man. We're like one big hive mind. D-Raj says, I'm in crypto for the technology. Of course you are. Of course you are, D-Raj. Crypto EE says, staking Hex for 555 days is like winning the lottery in slow motion. That's hilarious, actually. It literally is. It's like you just get a tiny little bit richer every day. Kevin Conway says, being smarter than everyone else. Yeah, that was, I guess, part of it too. I was tired with the way traditional investments were going. I remember right after I graduated from college, I was looking up all kinds of financial vehicles, like looking into stock trading and looking into all kinds of things I could do to potentially just make money and make enough money to get ahead and get out of the 9-to-5 rat race. And nothing was really cutting it. Traditional CD is only going to pay you a pitifully low interest rate, 1% per year. You got to be kidding me. That's offensive. That's not even enough to beat inflation. That's borderline offensive. So CDs aren't going to cut it. Savings accounts aren't going to cut it. Stocks just felt like a big casino to me, pretty much the same as the crypto markets. You have to pick the right stocks, or what I didn't realize back then is that picking the right stocks and staying with them would have made me a lot of money. So if I bought Tesla 5 years ago and just held it, I would have made a lot of money. But I didn't realize that mentality until I got into crypto. And that's when I realized that the money is made in cryptocurrency by simply buying and holding things with actual long-term lasting value, just longer than everybody else. It's very, very simple. And then obviously getting more people in, because that's what it's all about. That's what people, they have this idea of what a Ponzi scheme is, and they have no idea what they're talking about. What a Ponzi scheme is when investors promise you returns, and then they go get new investors on board, and then they take the returns from the new investors and they give it to the old investors to pay them off, like a game of musical chairs. So people say if crypto is a Ponzi scheme, then and Bitcoin is a Ponzi scheme, then the stock market's no more or less of a Ponzi scheme by their definition, right? So a lot of people want to just use the word Ponzi, and they use it terribly incorrectly because they are not involved in something and they see it going up in price, and they'll use things like, oh, greater fool theory. Well, you have to have someone to buy it higher, otherwise it's not going to go up. It's like, yeah, that's how every stock works. That's how the S&P 500 works. You got to have buyers and sellers, and there's a net more buyers than sellers. People are buying more than they're selling, especially with helicopter money and inflation and your money being printed more and more every year. They're printing the value of the money away, so it has to have somewhere to go. So obviously the valuations of these things are going to go up, especially as people start funneling a lot of their leftover helicopter money into them. It's like a pressure differential, and the pressure has to be let out in different financial vehicles. So yeah, that's one thing that always frustrated me. The use of the word Ponzi scheme just to describe something that somebody hasn't bought yet. If you want to talk about real estate, real estate only is valuable because other people are willing to buy at those prices, and sometimes people lose money on real estate. Does it make that a Ponzi scheme? No. It just means that you might have bought a house and sold it for less than you bought it for. Just like you might have bought a cryptocurrency, sold it for less than you bought it for. If I buy Microsoft at $40 and it goes to $35 and I sell it because I'm scared, does that make Microsoft a Ponzi scheme? I don't think so. Guys. Pump it. That's the bond. Oh, anyway, back to Kevin Conway's point. Being smarter than everyone else, that is a really good point. And I'm writing some of this stuff down, guys. Being smarter than everyone else was something that kind of is my guilty pleasure as well, because I wanted to outsmart everyone that thought that they had all the right answers. You know what I mean? But crypto really turned out to be that self-fulfilling prophecy, because if enough people have that idea, it kind of becomes true over 10, 12 years. And guys, Bitcoin's not going anywhere. Hex is not going anywhere. Crypto is not going anywhere. Odeli says, financial freedom, inflation seems better to keep my money there, plus asset inflation. Yeah. Yep, financial freedom, huge one. What up, Identity Block? How you doing, man? Hex Squadron barfed. You okay? Sorry, bud. Oh, is it the Ponzi scheme thing? Yeah, I hate when people use the word Ponzi scheme just to describe something that they're not invested in. Everything's a Ponzi if you're going to use it that freely. You know what I mean? If everything's a Ponzi, then nothing's a Ponzi. Marcavelli says, Freedom TV says, got to be aware of what you're buying into and utility. Yeah, so, I mean, you do have to be aware of what you're buying into. And the utility argument is a little bit gray to me as well, because people will just say, oh, it has no utility, to something that they just don't see the utility in. So let's say Hex is a store of value, right? Hex is a very good store of value. It's an interest generating asset, a digital asset that's designed to last long term. And that's its utility. So people say, oh, it has no utility. And it's like, well, it's a store of value. And then they'll say, well, Bitcoin's a store of value. It's like, yeah, and Hex is a store of value. They can both be stores of value, guys. We can have more than one store of value. And actually, that's the most proven utility out of any cryptocurrency in all of existence. Bitcoin proved itself after 12 years to only be a store of value. It doesn't do anything else. So Hex is trying to be a better store of value, because it's like Bitcoin if Bitcoin paid you to hold it. If it generated interest on itself just by not selling. So it pays interest to stakers, and non-stakers are virtually paying the staking class. Inflation, right? Virtually, not literally. Kurt Turner, hello, coffee. People in time will see that Hex is a wealth builder. That's right. That's really my only focus, guys. I'm a little one-track minded. I tend to only focus on how do I adopt and onboard the most people at scale. And YouTube seems to be a great way. And all you guys are also doing your own things, which are super interesting. But yeah, I love talking about marketing techniques. Like Squadron, we're all trying to outpace inflation. Yes, inflation's a big one. That's something I'll write down. Inflation is a big marketing tool you can use, because what people, a lot of times they do realize this, and even if they don't, the hidden cost of inflation is making your dollar worth less and less every day. So you have less purchasing power every single day. So you work really hard for your money, and you can't even buy, a $1 Arizona iced tea anymore. It's like $1.29 now. It's gross. Luis, how you doing, Luis? Johnny says, but you can sell your freshly minted hex for less than you bought them, for less than you bought you original for, and still make a profit because it actually produces. Yeah, I guess that's true. I mean, one of the cool things about hex too is like if you're making 40% APY on a 5-year stake, and the price of hex goes down 40% this year, which would be not likely. I think hex is very likely to end the year net positive, if I'm being honest. No crystal ball, but I'm pretty sure it's going to at least be greater than it is today in 1 year's time. Okay. So even if it went down 40%, the amount of interest that you made in that time would be enough to make up the differential for that loss, and you'd be at break even. Whereas if you held Bitcoin and Bitcoin crashed 40%, you would just be down 40% of value, in USD, right? Ank says, what an American kid could become a millionaire on BTC, then I thought I could do that too. Yeah, that's another thing, right? You see people around you everywhere getting rich on cryptocurrency, and you want to be a part of it, right? But then you try to get into crypto, and it's like you're trying to avoid stepping on a landmine. It's like, everywhere you turn, there's just another scam or another shitty token that goes to zero. And, you just hear about these kids, right? These Bitcoin millionaires, 18 years old, mined Bitcoin on his CPU, back in college or something, and, dug up his old hard drive. Now he's got $25 million of Bitcoin because he's got, 500 Bitcoin or something. And, it's these stories, right? These millionaire stories. So thanks, Ankh. That's a good one too. Shrimp farmer in the house. That's right. It's your number one shrimp farmer here. Shrimp salad, shrimp gumbo, shrimp scampi. Hodeli says payment systems aren't worth as much as stores of value. This is a fact. Visa and MasterCard, I think, are only worth less than $1 billion, or maybe a couple. Maybe it's like 7 billion or something like that. But I know gold is worth like 7 trillion, right? So being a store of value is actually a great use case. So Hex has no use case, my ass basically, because it's a store of value, guys. And store of value is the biggest use case of all of crypto. All the best cryptos are used to store value. Bitcoin, Ethereum, Hex. Ethereum wasn't even designed to be a store of value. And yet here it is, going beyond Vitalik's wildest expectations in terms of price. If you listen to old clips of Vitalik talking, he thought Ethereum was, not ever going to be more than like $14 because it was designed as a network participation currency. Like it was basically just like the fuel. Like everybody would have to have a little Ethereum. He had no idea that it would get this high, right? So even Vitalik, I mean, that just goes to show he didn't have a good understanding of the market dynamics either. Or maybe he did have a good understanding of what he was building, but he didn't know how the market would actually use it in the wild, right? So that's super fascinating, about the philosophy of how people actually use crypto. They have all these fancy use cases and all these fancy white papers of what it might do someday. But in the meantime, it's all speculation and store value. And there's there's speculation value and there's store value. So, how much of Bitcoin's $50,000 that it's worth today is speculation, and how much is authentic store value? Is it 50-50? Is it 60-40? Should Bitcoin really be worth $30,000, but our speculation value is adding on an extra 20,000? I don't know. And I don't think anybody can possibly know that. But speculation and store value are really the use cases for crypto, whether you want to admit it or not. And whether or not one day these coins fulfill their ideals of being what they're truly meant to be. Hex was designed to be the world's first blockchain CD. One day it might truly become a stable financial product and it'll reach the top of its S-curve adoption. And at that point, maybe the price will be stable. But for now, we're in hyper price appreciation mode. And you get to enjoy all the benefits of that on top of the interest that you're earning every single day. But even so, let's say Hex stabilizes at $10 one day. It just becomes a $10 token. Maybe sometimes it goes down to $9, $8. Sometimes it goes up to $15. But you're still making, let's say the interest rate at that time is like 12 or 15%. That, to me, that sounds like an amazing interest rate. Making 15% on a relatively stable cryptocurrency. I mean, maybe Hex fulfills that ideal 10 years from now, 15 years from now, but we're basically in just the launch pad right now. We just passed launch phase. I don't think people realize this, like 6 months ago. So Hex was really, even though it's almost 17, 18 months old, we just got out of the launch phase a couple months ago in November. Pretty wild. Luis says, coffee, if all the Hex can send a message to Coinbase to be able to buy Hex. That's a great idea, Luis. And if you're going to do that, guys, please be nice. Please be nice to the institutions. You're never going to get Hex on Coinbase by saying, fuck you, Coinbase. Fuck you, EdHex. Like, you need to be nice. You need to. And then if you get treated badly, we could talk about it. But I'm pretty sure, you get more flies with honey than vinegar. That's what I always said. Hex Kai says, hey, what's up, coffee? How you doing, Hex Kai? Good to see you. Tell Barus, getting a coffee, listening to coffee. Cheers, man. I got my coffee here too. I know it looks like booze, but it's actually a cold brew in a little cup. Shit's actually really strong. It's actually pure espresso that I just left on. I left the espresso machine just run for like way too long, filled it up to here. And yeah, I'm feeling pretty good right now. T-Bird says, good seeing you, coffee. Hex has found its new floor at 0.0144. Let's pull up a chart, shall we? Share screen, Chrome tab. Dun, dun, dun. What the heck? I thought I had a chart pulled up. XUSDC, yeah. There it is. Hex USDC. Look at that. We got that little tiny little pump going on. Looks like we might have found a bottom here. Either way, I would say we could go as low as the previous support line, which would be 0.013. The real test will be when we get around this 0.013 level, guys, if we even get that low. But this was a resistance level, guys, for 4 major times since last year. Boom, 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 boom. We touched it 4 times. We had a little cup and handle breakout. And, we seem to have a hammer candle right here, which is a good indication of a reversal. But I don't know for sure. I still see free fall area possible, but the candlestick is bullish. Means a lot of bulls and bears are fighting. The bulls actually kind of won, and we're actually able to push the price up back to the 1.7 cent area. I wish I had the TD indicator up on here. I do not. But yeah, our RSI is about in the middle, and maybe we can pull up some support and resistance lines, moving averages. But let's go triple moving average. I like triple. And what do we want on triple? We want, I don't like these ones. I usually go 20, 50, 100. Those are typically the moving average lines I do. So look, we just held that 50 MA, simple MA. We just held that right here. So that might be another support. If we break down below the 50, then we go to the previous resistance, which is now a support. And we'll see, guys. We'll see. I'm not a TA guy, though. What the hell am I talking about? D'Artagnan says LMAO. AJ, what's going on? What's up, dude? When I first caught your channel, I thought you looked like Apollo Anton Anno, this Olympic speed skater. Love the new hairstyle, bro. Sharp, tuning in, turning lots of people your way. Thank you, AJ. I'm going to go look that up. Apollo Anton Anno. Apollo Anton Anno. Awesome, man. He's a good looking dude. Speed skater, huh? I'm not much of a skater, I'll tell you that. But thank you, AJ. Thanks for the kind words. DJ Cryptomatic. Hey, nice streams lately, man. I love your music. It's good to just, focus to, and when I'm working. Thanks for the compliments. Luis says, I sent him a message to Coinbase. I definitely know they're watching Hex and the community. I bet they are too. I'd be surprised if a lot like Coinbase, CoinGecko, when they look up their traffic and they do their analytics on their site analytics, I would almost guarantee that a lot of the traffic that is coming into these sites is coming from hexagons and is coming for I would think that we might be among the most top at least top 50, maybe even top 20 searched for coins. And the fact that it's not going away, I'm sure some people are starting to turn their heads and be like, hey guys, wasn't this Hex thing supposed to just be a scam? Wasn't it supposed to just die? And, it's not going anywhere, guys, because a lot of people didn't realize at first that this really was not a money grab for Richard Hart like the media tried to make it seem. It's a movement, guys. It's a grassroots movement. So I think the tides will turn. And awesome, Lewis, that you sent a message to Coinbase. Let me know what they say back, because Coinbase, they'd be huge. Not going to lie, they'd be huge. D-Raj said the main use of cryptocurrency is mitigation of sovereign risk, aka national currency collapse. Yes, that's a valid use case as well. Hedge against inflation, but also a hedge against sovereign currencies, especially in certain South American countries like Venezuela, or maybe even what's the other one? Argentina. Their currency is not doing great. Crypto EE says the number one thing that brought me into Hex was Richard Hart's drive to prolong human life. That's very cool. That's very cool. Now, Crypto EE, what's the number one thing that got you into crypto in general, though? Like in Hex, Richard Hart, sure, but what made you cross the gap of non-crypto to crypto? And that's a question for everybody. How did you go from no coiner to coiner? What problems were you trying to solve? What desires were you trying to buy your way into? And what frustrations were you trying to get yourself out of at the time? Envision yourself back when you were in crypto. For me, I was in 2015, fresh college graduate, working at my job and starting to realize the daunting future that I had ahead of me of the 9-to-5 rat race, the 9-to-5 grind. And to me, I figured there had to be a way out. I had to find people like me. And, 7 years later, here I am. And here I am with all you guys who seem to be very like-minded, a very like-minded community of financially free, or at least we act like it, individuals that are truly living life on their own terms, which I think is pretty badass. So I'm glad I found the others, and I'm trying to ask, where were you in your life, right? What did you want out of crypto? One guy said, he wanted to be smarter than everyone else. And I think there's a degree of that in everything, right? And everybody. D-Raj says, if you already have XRP, that's a good option. Else it's cheaper to buy Ethereum. Oh, we're talking about XRP? What? Hex Bull Run. Is buying Hex on Chain Jelly cheaper with XRP compared to Ethereum? I don't know. I've never purchased anything with XRP, but if you have a bag of XRP, you can go to Chain Jelly and you can swap it to Hex directly, which would probably be cheaper than the gas fees involved. I don't know for sure, but Chain Jelly is like different than Ethereum. Chain Jelly just, they swap all the coins with their own centralized engine behind the scenes. So it's just like a centralized swapping service, as far as I know. Kurt Turner says it's not too late to get into Hex. And if you feel you missed Hex, Pulse will be another bite in the apple. Let's talk about that. Let's talk about it being too late. Being too late to get into Hex, not at all, guys, not at all. If you don't see the opportunity right now to double the quantity of Hex that you have, you can literally double your Hex quantity, guys. Not saying you're going to have double the money, but when PulseChain comes out, you're going to have two versions of Hex. One Hex on the ETH chain, one Hex on the PulseChain. And whatever value is assigned to these is most likely going to be greater than the price of Hex currently. The two parts will be greater than the whole, as Richard Hart says. I don't like to use big words when I want to sound profound. Oh, I like to use big words when I want to sound profound. It's funny, D-Rush. Elon, if you're watching, just tweet Hex. That's all you got to do, man. Just 3 letters. It'll change a lot of lives. 3 letters, man. You did it for Doge. You can do it for Hex. ETH is on Exodus wallet. Would I still be able to get PulseChain equivalent when it's Snapshot? Well, Hexatarian, you'd have to... Hold on. I can Google that. Is Exodus wallet on custodial? Exodus is a non-custodial wallet with no counterparty risk. So I would say probably, as long as you have the private keys, you could take those private keys from your Exodus wallet and you could take those private keys and you could revive your Exodus wallet on like a MetaMask wallet, and then you could go use PulseChain. I think from the get-go, MetaMask is going to be the big wallet that everyone's using PulseChain on, because all you're going to have to do is switch one setting in MetaMask. So, if you have a different Ethereum wallet right now, that's okay, as long as it's non-custodial. As long as you know the private keys to your wallet, you're going to be okay. You just need to recover it on MetaMask. If you don't have MetaMask already, I would just recommend switching over. I'd recommend switching over just in case. Crypto EE says banks not being open on the weekends always piss me off. True. That's cool. Banks on weekends. All right. 36 Chambers says, smash the like button, guys. Let's get this stream recommended to more viewers. Yes, please. Yes, please, sir. I'm just going to do a quick one because I know we got a busy day lined up. We got Matty Allen and Quant Gang. They're going to do all the real charting. So what you see right here, this is my Tone Vase TA. so don't worry. It's not as good as Quant Gang. Ank said to wish stop working a job. Yes. Stop job. Yes, I agree, man. AJ Johnson and Ashley Reese says, what is the best, cheapest place to buy Hex right now? Right now. Well, right now, unfortunately, there's no good option for you, bro. AJ and Ashley, sorry. There's no great option. The very, very cheapest way is to go from Coinbase and buy your Ethereum or USDC, US dollar coin on Coinbase. You can buy any one of those two, ETH or USDC on Coinbase. And then you need to download MetaMask and get the Chrome extension, or, if you use Firefox, it's a browser extension called MetaMask, metask.io. Go directly to the website, download the wallet, and then transfer all your ETH or USDC from Coinbase to MetaMask. So once you go from Coinbase to MetaMask, then you just go to hex.com. And hex.com, it'll probably cost you about $70, $60 to do a swap for Hex. And you can swap for Hex right on the hex.com website with your MetaMask connected. So it's 3 steps, right? Coinbase to MetaMask, MetaMask to hex.com, right? And I've got a video about it. If you just check out my previous video, it's exactly a step-by-step walkthrough of how to buy Hex. So if you're new here, you wanted to figure out how to buy Hex for the first time, I'd load up your bags now, just not financial advice, but PulseChain's coming out soon, so you're going to want to get in before that for sure. Ankh Superman, fucking banks and the whitewashing for billions and a political system pocketing the banks with millions of funds. Yeah, corruption. So in one word, corruption. Yes, I think bank corruption is a great one. Thank you, Ankh. Very helpful. D-Raj says, Hex number go up. Ankh says negative interest on your bank account. Yeah, that's, depending on where you live, I think sometimes you get negative interest rates on your bank account. That is really disgusting to me. You're paying the bank for the privilege to hold your money. No. You got to know how much power you have, right? You are not the product, okay? You should be the customer, not the product. So when you go to your bank, if you're paying your bank interest to hold your money, that means you're paying them for what you think is the privilege to hold your money, which it should be their job to hold your money. Like they should be paying you interest because you're allowing them to hold your money, right? Because you could just take your money in your business to any other bank. Any other bank would be happy to hold your money. So they should be paying you interest. I think banks are treating people like children, and it's not great. Guy says, hey, Coffee, great to catch you live. What are we talking about? Oh, we were just talking about psychographics, which is basically the alternative to demographics, right? So I was just saying earlier, the misconception in marketing a lot of times is people get so hung up on demographics when we talk about crypto. Even I did, right? I did advertising with hex.com. And for a while, I actually cut off, as an example, I just marketed to men only because I made the stupid logical fallacy that, only men are into crypto, right? Definitely not true at all. But it is primarily male, but it's not all male. and obviously if you want to get females in, you need to market to them. So you're just cutting yourself off from 50% of the population. There's a lot of women out there, guys, like 50% of the world. So demographics are one thing. It's age, race, gender, marital status, job, income, job title. But psychographics are what really we should be taking into consideration when marketing, and that's the psychological profile of people. So what state of mind that they're in when they buy into crypto, right? So you need to meet people where their desires already are, and you need to start to categorize people in terms of their two things. It's a dichotomy: their desires and their frustrations, or their desires and their pain. Because everybody has pain that they're trying to get their way out of, or buy their way out of, or whatever. And everybody has desires that they're trying to claw towards in life, and that's what makes life work, right? So you could tell much more about somebody and market much more directly to somebody by speaking to their internal psychographics than their demographics. Motley says, I want to make money in crypto but can't. Can you help me, Mr. Coffee? Yes, I would go to hexpassiveincome.com, and if you're new to crypto, there's a course called hexpassiveincome.com. It's 50% off right now. Chaotic Creations, FX Studio, Matcha limit orders. Yeah, let's talk about Matcha limit orders, guys. Let's talk about Matcha limit orders. Matcha.xyz. I'll show you guys a cool trick, okay? Just because, offering value for free and all that jazz. So if you are new to Hex, or you kind of just got in, or if you're wondering when to buy Hex, right? Everybody wants to know when to buy Hex, when to buy Hex. You don't have to try to time the market exactly, right? What you could do is set a limit order on a decentralized exchange. So you don't even have to sign up, KYC yourself, and do all that stuff on like a Binance or anything. You should be using decentralized exchanges if you can. And one of these DEX tools is called Matcha, matcha.xyz. So one more time, matcha.xyz. And I know it's like a terrible URL, super hard to learn, but it's basically allows you to do limit orders on DEXs, right? So it aggregates all these DEXs, right? Mooniswap, Curve, 0x, Bancor, Uniswap, SushiSwap, and it gives you the best deal, which typically the best deal is on Uniswap for Hex. And so you just go to matcha.xyz, search for Hex, and there's Hex. And it looks like they added the logo back. That's good. That's a very good sign. They added the logo. And it says trade at your own risk. You say, I understand. And here, guys, you can actually just set, if you go to market, instead of market, you click on limit. And in order to do a limit order, you have to have wrapped Ethereum. So you need to wrap your Ethereum. So you need to trade some Ethereum for wrapped Ethereum. It should cost you like $5. And then with your wrapped Ethereum, you could say, I want to buy Hex if it goes below a certain price. So you can just sit back, relax, and just wait for Hex to hit that price. So, if I think, 729 WETH per Hex is a little high right now, and I think it's going to dip lower. Look, I even have a filled limit order that I have in my history here. I put 0.26 WETH in, and I bought it at 0.000439. So I'm up a lot on that one. But yeah, that's the beauty of limit orders, guys. You don't have to time the market. You don't have to time the top or the bottom. You could just say, I think that it's going to go to, I think that Hex is going to go to 0.00600. And it'll even tell you, like, this is where the bar would be. You'd have to go this low. And you could say, I want that to expire in 24 hours, 3 days, 7 days. I usually like to just leave it for 7 days, right? And then you just review your limit order, and you can place your limit order. And it's actually free, guys. It's free to place limit orders. So that's one of the beauties of this. If your limit order doesn't get hit, you don't have to pay any money. That's pretty cool, right? You don't have to pay any money if your limit order doesn't get hit. But if it does, then you just got Hex at a pretty good discount, right? So, if you're going to also buy Hex and you don't know when to buy, or you think it's going to go lower, matcha.xyz, you make sure you're using WETH and set that limit order on there. Ankh says money printing and fiat are going to zero. Zero. Yeah. I don't know how soon they're going to zero, but they definitely are asymptotically going to zero. AJ says, yes, sir. Thanks, brother. Anytime, AJ and Ashley. And Ashley. Can't forget. Hex Bull Run. Kind of crazy that Hex isn't pumping right now. PulseChain is really something special. Yeah, I think a lot of the Ethereum tokens are not really pumping right now. And I think it's because I think it's just because of the fees, to be honest. It's a whales game right now. And a lot of things just took a crazy dump, right? Because I think a lot of the Coinbase CEOs sold all their stonks, and it was basically a buy the rumor, sell the news on the Coinbase listing. I mean, I'm probably oversimplifying that, right? So, guy says, I think the word was profiting. What pro? Oh, the word from the, yeah, sorry. Sometimes I can't read these comments very well. Onk says, been with Richard Hart since 2017. Me too. I think I was a longtime fan of Richard since he did a debate with Roger Ver. Chaotic Creation says, Hodl Dog did a new video on how to set limits. If you haven't subscribed to Hodl Dog, HODL Dog, on YouTube, he will walk you through exactly how to do limit orders. It's a more advanced technique, especially if you're new to crypto or if you're new to Hex. But, limit orders are a very good technique that you should learn. I'd recommend everybody learns that. T-Don says, LOL, negative interest rates. You're better off spending it than putting it in a bank. Yeah, exactly. Hey, Sammy, how are you? Good to see you, Sammy. DJ Cryptomatic, Pulse Man, FE Gobbler. Happy Cannabis Cafe Day. I feel great. Great day for a Hex stream. Enjoy the wit and humor. Yeah, we got a Cannabis Cafe right next to where I live. There's one in Atlanta and there's one in Chicago. And apparently they put THC, it's called THC 9, or no, it's Delta 9 THC. Apparently it's like this legal version of weed that they can get by the regulations. So I love me a good loophole. Crypto EE says, best time to buy Hex is yesterday. Second best time is today. That's very wise, actually. It sounds funny, but it's kind of true, guys. If you don't see the long-term vision of Hex, if you're not holding Hex for a couple of years, I think you're doing it wrong. At least a couple of years. I'm laddered all the way out till 15 years. Chaotic Creation says, just got to watch that toggle. Limits are only WETH in USDC. Switch it and it toggles back. Limits are signature, no gas to set limits. That's right, Johnny. It doesn't cost you a dime to set a limit orders. It says, Mr. Coffee, I heard. No, thank you, sir. Motley shilling on my channel. D-Raj says, coffee promoting matcha. What is going on? I know I drink a lot of coffee, but I enjoy a tasty matcha beverage from time to time. You scam. Show me your private keys, Molly, or you are scam. Chaotic Creation says, or just below market and save on gas if you're buying anyway. Yeah, true. If you're going to buy anyway and you want to buy right now, if you just set the limit order a little bit lower, like $70 lower than the price of Hex right now, then essentially, if it dips a little bit, then you save that gas fee. So that's a good way to look at it, Johnny. Does it have to be WETH? It can be WETH or USDC, I believe. That's a good question. Let's go take a look. Yeah, it looks like you can do USDC as well. Yes. So that's a very important distinction as well. You can definitely use US dollar coin, but if you're going to use ETH, you have to use WETH. So it's kind of and that's another pain in the ass for new people too. It's like trying to explain WETH and ETH. It's the same thing, guys. It's the same thing. Sammy says, good, thanks, Coffee. Hope you're well too. Sammy, I'm doing great. Thank you for asking. Oh, Goldie, thanks for correcting me. It's Delta 8. Yeah, Goldie must have just got back from the Canna Cafe. Hey, Coffee, what do you think about the idea of making a Hex documentary and getting it on Netflix? I think it's a badass idea, Sammy. I think I would love to be able to one day spend some of my Hex gains on that. Although, I think documentaries are expensive, but, I just bought a filmmaking course for myself, actually. I bought a filmmaking course called 14-Day Filmmaker, and I'm going to see if I can increase or, ramp up my video production skills, but it takes a lot of time. It takes a lot of time especially when you get a 9-to-5 job to be like, doing high level video production. Even the videos that I make right now, they take about a couple of hours to put together. And, You know, it's not like I love doing it. I love doing it, but that's why my production quality could, it definitely could be higher. But anyway, Hex documentary on Netflix, I think that'd be amazing, right? I think that'd be amazing. It'd be great to just go through like a montage of Richard and Richard getting hated on, and then it's a great underdog story. You know what I mean? Come on, guys. Of course, there's a big truck outside right now. Hopefully it's not too loud for you guys. I'm just going to put that comment down here. Let's see. Hex Bull Run says a documentary about Richard Hart would be awesome. I couldn't agree more. Hex Bull Run. Hex Sammy says the community could all help out. I would love to be an actor in that. I think, Sammy, you'd make a great actress in that as well. And we've got a lot of interesting people that would be awesome for the movie. T-Don says at the end of the movie can be Hex flipping BTC. That would be so badass. And have all of our Hex songs. Hell yeah. Hell yeah, we could. That'd be great. D-Roush says, which site did you use for your videographer course? It was called 14-Day Filmmaker. I still have to take it, right? I still have to take it. Anyway, guys, what's going on with the price of Hex? You guys want to hear some hopium? Because I think it's all bullish. Guy says, LOL coffee, would you play yourself? Is that really acting? Yeah, I guess not, man. I guess not. I'd have to get Apollo Ono to play me. Apollo Ono, a retired short track speed skating competitor and 8-time medalist. I'm sure he would do it. He would do it, right? Oh, he's from America. Seems like a good guy. Johnny says, interesting characters we have in surplus. Everybody that's in Hex is just super awesome. It's so unique and just hilarious too. Sammy Chica says, it's green, bro. What's green? Oh, the price. The price is green? I know, that's why we're doing this. We're having a little green candle party. Green candle party. Let's pull it up. Let's pull it up, guys. Look at that lovely green candle. And if you guys missed it earlier, we just did a little love tap off the 50-week SMA. And it looks like we just bounced right off of it almost. We didn't even really touch it. If you want to zoom in more, we didn't really even touch it. But it's looking good, man. This is looking like a potential reversal. Potential reversal. But last time I don't want to speak too soon. AJ and Ashley said, what's my 9 to 5? I am a consultant at a tech company. We make apps and websites and stuff like that for, bigger Fortune 500 companies that want to hire us. So I'm in tech. Long story short, I'm a product guy. Motley says they would definitely have a lot of content for the documentary. Yeah, we could use a lot of like real world. I'm sure if we just strung enough live streams together or just enough content, we could make a movie all in itself. But you'd have to have somebody looking through hours and hours of content. You know what I mean? That'd be a job in itself to have a man on, 24/7 Hex stream duty. Crypto EE says every crypto person I follow in 2017 hasn't mentioned Hex once. They're usually early on everything, but they've overlooked Hex's potential. We are so early. Yeah, that's the thing. Crypto EE. It's like, think about these guys. A lot of people shout on Hex at first, but it was really only like the mainstream media, not the mainstream media, it was like a couple of crypto news sites. There were like 3 or 4 articles that were negative anti-Hex at the very beginning, at the very launch. And all the influencers, if they didn't, some of them just said, yeah, Hex, I read something about that. I don't like it. But a lot of them just haven't even talked about it because they probably just don't know about it. So talk about opportunity, guys. When these influencers find out that Hex is, not what those articles said it was, and that it's like a 15-year like long-term store of value that's giving Bitcoin a run for their money, it's gonna, the floodgates are gonna open. It's only a matter of time. Bitfinesse says we all have to act like broke plebs in the documentary because we're gonna be rich as fuck before the filming. Sorry, rich AF. I'll try not to curse. That's true, Bitfinesse. We're gonna have to act like our former pleb selves. Ankh says, have seen all RH's video. Been a hexakin since the first RH coin. Oh, the CFD token, right? Thought about putting some hex gains into a hex shop on the high street of our capital, and put 40% interest on the facade. Nice. That'd be awesome, man. Like an actual hex store. That'd be pretty cool. You know, somebody was stamping dollar bills too. I think that's hilarious as well. That's a good idea. T Don says, I don't think they're missing hex. They're too afraid to talk about it in fear of backlash. I see. Yeah, because maybe the hexagons kind of swarmed on them like piranhas or whatever. Yeah, day one we had a negative article. Day one. And we had really 2 or 3 negative articles, and that was it. Guys, that was it. So we've been bouncing back from 2 negative articles basically, and a couple of Reddit posts that are just completely off the mark. Guy says, my team of editors could do it. The main thing is to get the content to whittle down on. Areas missing would be the behind the scenes stuff, especially Richard Hart and the development. Yeah. I wonder what Buffoon would. I don't know who would play that guy. It'll be interesting to find out. Hey, let's see. Guys, I'm going to hop off in a little bit here. It's been great hanging out with you guys. If anybody left has got any comments or criticisms or concerns about why they got into crypto and what were their desires and frustrations, and I just realized I spelled frustrations wrong. What an idiot. There we go. Frustrations. Just DM me, because this is actually helping with my marketing campaign to spread hex to more people. So that was kind of the point of this. Just wanted to crowdsource some information, tell my story about why I got into crypto, and get some other people's stories as well. You know, when you got into crypto, why did you do it? What were your desires? What were your frustrations? And again, if you're looking for marketing tips, marketing advice, think about things from the perspective of, the psychology of the person, not how old they are, not what their gender is, not what their job they have, because you know what? We've got all kinds of people. If there's one thing I've learned, it's that from being in the hex community, guys, if there's one thing I've learned, it's that demographics do not matter at all in hex. We have got the most, motley crew of people here. We've got the most widest variety that I've ever really seen. People of all different jobs, all different ethnicities, all different genders, all different nationalities. It's just insane. We've got people in Australia, people in the UK, people in India, people in China, Hong Kong, all over the world. It's global, Ireland. It's really insane, guys. It's really insane. Sammy says, thanks, Coffee. Juanito says, hey, Coffee, just got here. Ooh, sorry, bro. You kind of missed it. That's all right, man. Next time you'll get it. Johnny says CoinDesk owes us a retraction. I think we could press legal action, but that's not a priority right now. No Kulu says the prospect of buying weed on the internet got me into crypto. All right. I appreciate the honesty. Buying weed. And there's, the freedom, I guess behind that is the freedom to purchase anything you want, because certain things should be free, right? Squadron says big time. All right, all 54 of you beautiful people, keep hodling, keep staking, keep dollar cost averaging in. Get ready for PulseChain. It's going to be fucking huge. I mean, unbelievable. And keep that in mind when you're doing marketing. Don't try to narrow yourself down too much. But be specific in terms of getting in the other person's head. Don't be specific in terms of, man, woman, black, white, anything like that. See you later, guys. And no problem, Monk. You are totally forgiven. That's, my fault too. It's hard to read on stream. All right, guys. I'm out of here. Love you guys, and see you on the next one. Bye.